Welcome to the Nadia Sahari Show.
In 2016, Stephen Presley was my guest on my podcast only. He is a filmmaker, director, producer, writer. He's everything. He does everything. He's incredible. And he's got a lot of film out there, and he's been in Game of Thrones. Help me to welcome Stephen Presley to the Nadia Sahari Show.
Are you ready to live your dream? Motivation, inspiration, and passion. That's what it takes to make dreams come true. Welcome to the Nadia Sahari Show. Our guests will share important tips, insights, and knowledge to help you fulfill your dreams of success. Here's your host, actress, author, entrepreneur, Nadia Sahari.
Oh, this is exciting. I'm so thrilled. Stephen Presley, welcome.
Thank you for having me. I do a whole lot of different things. That's absolutely true. Most of which has been, I think when we talked last, I was trying to pursue some of my musical career.
Yes.
And I became a dad, and I started realizing that I started getting old. and knowing, I had this special gift that I had been working on for several years, and I just kept denying it. And because it wasn't what I necessarily thought that I was supposed to be. And a lot of that is kind of, pressures that were put on me. But, not from my family at all, but it seemed like everywhere else, everybody wanted me to be this, that, or the other. And I just, ever since I was in university, I just had a really strong knack for film. I had the ability to see things kind of visually, even just from reading. And a lot of writers and stuff. I know that you're a writer because I was watching some of your YouTube channel, which about your books and stuff, and I thought that was very interesting. Some of it was very saddening to me that you went through a lot of things, but it's very amazing that you're such an uplifting, strong woman, and we need more people like you.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. I didn't know that you were checking me out. That is cool. I love that you did that. That's great. Thank you.
That's like a thing that we're trying to do is we're trying to get rid of that scenario. It doesn't belong. It doesn't belong in the industry. It doesn't belong in society. It doesn't belong at all.
I agree.
Just one unifying love and caring and respect, and that's kind of like my MO. So. Yeah. But anyway, thanks for having me on, and it's the honor is all mine.
Oh no, I am honored. Oh dear, I'm so thrilled. I am so thrilled. As far as my book goes, Breakaway, I've had a few directors tell me that it should be a movie, and that would be quite interesting because there really isn't anything out there like that. And they said it's a gold mine, and I've yet to have it adapted to a screenplay. So maybe one day I will, but it'll be interesting.
I think I know somebody that does stuff like that.
What's that?
So I think I know somebody that does stuff like that.
Oh, really? Oh, you? Do you do that?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I own 3 companies.
Yes.
I own Amadeus Production Company, which is a full-on production company that I direct, produce, and I have writers that do adaptions to books.
Oh, I did not.
We do everything. Yeah, we do everything WGA. Well, now that they've gotten everything sorted out, we basically take the adaptation and take the author and really care about what they do and their thoughts and their process. And if they want us to go directly straight across line for line, we even do that. But then I take that and then I have another partner, which is a really great company out of Los Angeles, in which I'm working with right now. We're doing some pretty large things that I'm not allowed to talk about. That
Right.
is why I have rings underneath my eyes. But we are negotiating with a very large, actually, I'll go ahead and say this is a billion-dollar film franchise
Wow.
that we're in talks with possibly executive producing and producing the next film, which will be shooting like in a month.
Wow,
so
that's
so
fabulous.
so I wish I could say more, but I'm
That's
honestly,
okay.
until the ink's dry and everything's set, I
That's
don't get
right.
ahead of myself. Never
I got
get
it.
anything could happen. But
Yep.
you know, the path to get to where I am now is was happened with Amadeus, and it happened with I joined a partnership of my other company, which is called Virtue Media Capital out of London. And what we do is we take people that want to be film producers or want to invest in film, and we give them the most secure ability to invest in film sometimes without even losing any money or really risking anything, because we already know what the pre-sale values are, and we have a partnership with all the sales companies too. So they just tell us what they want, and then we look for it. When we get it, we put it together, and that's pretty much how it works.
I love it. I had no idea. Let's talk about the Game of Thrones, because
Yes.
you have done quite a bit of the Game of Thrones. So tell us what you did on that series.
Okay, so there's some things I can talk about and some things I'm not allowed to talk about.
Definitely, we know that.
But basically, there was an opportunity that was given to me. Actually, and I want to say this because, like, you know, like some of my Facebook friends might see this. The president of HBO, I know you're on here, Virginia. All you guys out there that have supported me and you know, gave me opportunities that are part of that HBO family. Thank you. You know, like, because when that came into my life, and they did this completely unknowingly. They didn't even know me at the point. Some of them haven't, you know, some of them maybe a phone call or friends that guiding and mentoring, but still, I have to say thank you for that. It really means a lot to me, because at that point in my time, I had moved to Northern Ireland to be a father and be here with my daughter. And unlike the United States, here you're not allowed to work or to have a job, but you can own a company, which is really odd.
Wow.
And become a citizen or a resident or anything, unless the other half makes a certain income. So it's kind of hard when she was getting her master's degree, and we just had a toddler with it. That's not in school, so that was virtually impossible. And then I got a call, and they just called me up and said, "Hey, you know, this is Game of Thrones. Can you come to work tomorrow and come see us or talk to us?" And I showed up down there at and the first meeting was down at Titanic Studios in Belfast, and I went down there, and then I found out that this job was going to be incredibly cold, and I would be outside in the cold all night, every night, probably for several months. And then, so
wow.
Actually, if people watch the Battle of Winterfell, if you watch that, it was a 2-hour episode. We shot those scenes. I think it was 54 straight nights.
Dear Lord.
Of tiling, tiling all the soldiers, because really, in truth, there's only like 100 soldiers, if that many, and normally it's like maybe 40. You turn that into 8,000 or 80,000 or however many you want, and then you create the larger image. And yes, if anyone's wanting to ask, that is the episode that everyone said was too dark, and that's don't say that to Fabian Wagner. He will snap back. So he's a brilliant director of photography, by the way. But working with David Nutter and Miguel Sapochnik, oh man, Dan and Dave, just everyone, they literally, like, by me getting an opportunity to be on that show, literally saved my family.
Wow.
And it allowed me to stay. So it's a very heartfelt thank you to to the whole operation. It's such a huge operation. It was like being there with Kit Harington, Amelia Clark, Peter Dinklage, and everybody on that set. It was very strange because I've dealt with a lot of very egotistical people out there, and I don't personally drink, and I know he doesn't now, but I mean, Kit Harington was one of the biggest stars in the world. He'd walk right up to you and hug you or talk to you, and say, hey, if you see me, let's go grab a beer in town or something like that. And that dynamic was through the whole thing, that everyone was nice. Even the military advisors, which were like my favorite people, was Billy and Jamie. Jamie, if you want someone to interview, that guy is hilarious. So basically, all the soldiers and the stunts, and then the background. The background guys literally might as well have been stunt doubles, because the only difference was insurance, because those guys went through. I mean, I went through that too with them. Yeah. That is my thing. Is I went through three boot camps. 3 boot camps.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
So everything was basically lined out and perfected upon. I would say, from talking to Jamie and Billy, I believe it was more taken. They took the style for the Unsullied from the Macedonian soldiers with the long spears and the phalanxes and all that, and the Wildlings had a totally different, they had a totally different style, which was taken from another historical reference. So
yes,
you have all these histories perfected in this one film that is a fantasy. So it's like you can connect, but there was just so much work. I really think that the line was beat into my head every day. Wow. That like, I think it was something like, we're spending 10,000 pounds a second or something. So don't mess up, no pressure. So, wow. But as all things, there's a lot of things that go good and a lot of things that go bad. But to be honest with you, there's like a brotherhood between all of us. We still all talk. Wow, all of us still talk. That.
Well, Stephen, though, but that is probably why it was so successful too. I mean, because of all these things that you're saying. I mean, it was kind of a rigid set. I mean, it was like there was no flexibility. It sounds like this. I mean, everything was like this. It was on time, this way, that way. I mean, it's just no fooling around. Very serious. Well, right?
Well,
Very serious.
We say that, but I mean, like, about 90% of the time, about 90% of the time, like I was trying not to laugh at Jamie, because everything that he said was absolutely hysterical, and sometimes I would, I was looking over at the first AD, and I was looking over, like, Dan and Dave were turning around laughing at me, because we had one of the other military advisors had the guys counting, and they were hitting their spears, and some of these guys, like, are just no experience, nothing, and it's pretty hard to put an army together of of guys that are supposed to be a mixed race of darker skinned people, and then find those actors in Northern Ireland. So that was a lot of funny stuff, because, like, one of my friends named Lewis, He like, man, he did not like he didn't like going out there all the time. But like, you know, like Jamie would say, "Get up here, you're one of my handsome ones." Said that he had to stand at the front of the line. And he was like, "They're just doing this to me because I'm black." But yeah, I have some amazing stories, but he was, when it's time to go to work, he went to work. That HBO family, I don't know if it can ever be done again.
No.
I'm not sure. I hope so. I know that there's I know that they're in the talks for another series, which is based previous to this. It's going to be, I'll go ahead and say it. It's going to be called House of the Dragons. It's going to be produced by Miguel Sapochnik, one of my favorite directors.
Wow.
That was there. He directed the Battle of the Bastards. He directed half of the season 8, and he directed a lot of Emmy award-winning stuff. So
yes.
I think he also did Repo Man back before. But like, he's one of the people that I really look up to. But yeah, that's going to come out, and I know that may be partially why the readers are waiting on The Winds of Winter, because George R.R. Martin is focused on that too. So
that is cool. That is cool. What a great story. And the 3 boot camps, dear Lord.
Oh yeah. It's really funny when you've been a producer and worked for different periods of times, and then sometimes you go and test different things. Oh, here's another really cool story.
What?
Just one last cool story.
You can say all the stories you want.
Within a matter of 3 days, I was standing there, and in those 3 days, Conan O'Brien was there.
Oh.
So was Aaron Rodgers and Danica Patrick. They actually were acting as extras in one of the last episodes. They did it as a couple. Unfortunately, they're split up now, but they were there. They were very nice people. And also, have you seen the movie Sinister?
Sinister?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Ethan Hawke. Ethan Hawke was there too.
Ethan Hawke. Oh, wow.
Yeah. And that one, I have to say, is hearsay, because I was sent to one of the other locations the day that he was there, but I came back and everyone was like, "Ethan Hawke was here. Ethan Hawke was here." And I was like, are you serious? I was like, and did he have a speaking role or something? Was this, I mean, 'cause I was like, I know nothing. I know nothing. Absolutely. It was, yeah. So that's kind of how it went. There was a lot of visual effects, a lot of big, giant green screens that basically looked like you were walking into a stadium with. It's just, I haven't seen anything quite like that, except for with Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's the competitor right there with scale.
Yes. Cool, man. That is incredible stories. Incredible. You know, being not on set, of course, you don't see that stuff. But when you're on set, so much goes on set. And I just love being on set, because even just to watch what's going on and how things are done. And I always say this because the crew, you know, everyone has their own deal. Everyone has their own specialty. And just the fact that all these people do their thing, what they do best, and then they create this gorgeous canvas of a movie that it was a team effort that is just amazing to me. I've always been amazed at how.
Yeah, there's so many little ingredients. There's so many people involved, and everyone from top to bottom of that unit was, you know, appreciated.
Check out the all-new Nadia Sahari Show. It's today's hottest new talk show and rated 5 stars on iTunes, featuring amazing guests and inspiring stories of today. All genres, all dreams, no limits. Visit thenadiasaharishow.com and get the app for Apple and Android. Easy streaming and listening. Have a business? Why not become a sponsor of the show and take your brand to the next level? Email us at info@thenadiasaharishow.com for our complete sponsor and advertising package deals. Let the show inspire you, motivate you, and educate you to your dream and to your success. Only on and always on the Nadia Sahari Show, the place where dreams really do come true.
Now, from what I understand, you have a crew in Austin, Texas, and you're thinking about coming here and filming, which will be exciting because I will have you as my guest and I will show you around Austin.
Well, that sounds absolutely amazing, and yes, it's true. Like I actually have dedicated professionals that work with me all over most of Europe and North America and Canada, but definitely have some really great guys in Texas, and I really like and yeah, they're actually in Austin, so that's really cool. I was supposed to shoot with them last year, and we got canceled right before the holidays because, strangely enough, one of the actors was worried about some sort of sickness that was happening over in his country that now we know what it is and everything that happened thereon. So that whole shoot got canceled. So it would be great to see those guys. And yeah, I would absolutely love to collaborate with you on something. Sounds like a really, I've never actually got to go to Austin. So that's something that's really kind of interesting to me. Like, everything I hear about it is awesome.
You will love Austin. You will love it. I will show you around and we'll have a good time. We'll have fun. And I really think that it would be a great place for you. There's a lot of filming going on. There's the American Film Society. There's so much to see. There's the lake. There's canoeing and yachting and a lot of great restaurants and clubs. You'll like it a lot.
I had heard that they were doing a lot of that with bringing a lot of work back to America with the head of Tesla and everything. So it's pretty great.
Well, I'm excited that you can adapt my book Breakaway to a screenplay and possibly make it a movie because you're a director and producer. That would be so amazing, and I'm so excited. And we need to talk about that more and see what the possibilities are. I would love it. I think it would be really cool to work with you and do something.
Yeah, I think that you have an amazing story. So whatever platform or way that you'd like to do anything like that, if that was an option, I'd be definitely excited about that. I started reading your book, and even though quite a bit of it is hard, it's a hard pill to swallow, but a lot of it is very powerful things. And if anyone hasn't read your books, I would suggest it to anyone.
Thank you for the compliment. I appreciate it. And it has been read. I was in the top 100 on Amazon, and it's still being read, and it is helping so many, including myself, to read it again. Thank you so much. The pandemic. Oh, let's talk about the pandemic. Oh, my, oh, my, oh, my. This has
Wow.
changed filmmaking. It has changed the world. How has it affected you in the area of directing?
Well, strangely enough, I was supposed to shoot a film,
Uh-huh.
and the film was canceled.
Hmm.
And I was banking on that because it was blocked off in my schedule. And that's my income. That's how I make a living. And there was nothing here in Europe that would help me as a U.S. citizen. What I ended up doing is I ended up going back home to Brevard, North Carolina, and I was in the middle of negotiations to do another film that's still on the table, and it's going to be really good. I think everyone will like it.
Oh.
And me and the investors were in talks, and me and my dad were going to sit down and watch the NCAA basketball tournament, or actually it was the ACC tournament, because that's I was in North Carolina, it was ACC country. So we cut it on, and the first thing they say in the first round is that everything's canceled. And I'm like, what's this all about? So I didn't know anything about it. Long story short, I ended up my dad talking to the mayor of the small town that I grew up in, and he owned a hardware store.
Hmm.
So he hired me to work at his hardware store for $9 an hour.
Wow. Wow.
And I'm sitting there with a star meter. My star meter on IMDb was like 30,000. I'm sitting there like, wow,
Yeah.
things are getting real tough.
Yeah.
So what I did is I worked 2 days, and I said, yeah, I'm not 20 anymore.
Yes.
I don't want to be dealing with all this stuff. I was like, I know what I'm good at. So I actually called the same investors, and we spoke. And the next thing I know, I had unknowingly at first talked myself into making a documentary called Pandemic.
Oh.
So the funding came through, and I shot a documentary that is now being distributed worldwide, and on TUBI right now. It's called Pandemic. It's called Pandemic: The People, the Conspiracies, the Journey. And
wonderful.
It can be found
and it's on Tubi?
It's on TUBI TV right now.
Yes.
It can be streamed with ads.
Yes.
They wanted an exclusive for the first window. And then it's going. There was another sale today that it's been purchased down in Central America.
Cool.
And so we've got stuff going on that end as well. So the cool thing is one of our distributors, which is also another great company that also deals with me with a lot of financing of things and pre-sales and all that. They took on the TUBI thing with the distribution, came back to me and said, we're actually going to look for more content like this because your documentary is doing so well.
Cool.
And I made it, if anyone's ever seen like Zeitgeist or something, I totally made it to be like that. But then I took personal people from like during the pandemic, during the lockdown, two guys went out and I questioned everything that we know. And I went in a deep study and a deep dive into finding out what does everyone think? What's the conspiracies? What's the truth in it? And I never take a position because I'm not really a conspiracy theorist or anything like that, but I wanted people to know what's out there, what people are saying, so that free-thinking individuals can think for themselves.
Yes.
And that's a beautiful thing, because in the end, which is the journey part, it was a beautiful piece I did with, I don't like saying this, but it's not normal that, you don't really see a whole lot of African-American painters that are painter artists. And one of my friends from high school is one of the most amazing painters I've ever seen. And with his touch of his paintbrush, there's so much emotion, character, and detail. It's like looking at a window into his world.
Wow.
So he was painting his cousin, who happened to be a nurse.
Wow.
And it was about her being painted and molded into Superwoman or Wonder Woman. Wonder
Wow.
Woman. And that was one of the parts, the conspiracy stuff, that was a lot of editing from the aspect of I'm editing this and pulling this and keeping everything within fair use rights and protecting myself with the EO insurance and all that junk, but making sure that everything is protected, but getting the truth out there in a logical line that tells a story. But when it got to the journey, the main point is like we're at a crossroads. Which path do we take as humanity? Do we choose war, famine, disagreements, and to argue with one another? Or do we take a new path in which we unify with one another and love one another and we work together? And if we do that and we believe in loving one another, I believe we can conquer anything.
Yes.
So
that's what I say all the time. Absolutely.
That's the ultimate message in the film. And I mean, like, I'm really thankful for the city of Brevard and everyone who supported me there. And definitely, you know, I want to thank Tiana Armstrong and Aaron Cabardis, who were my other producers, and my partner, Io Cackmore, who handled all the sales and distribution for me while I was doing a lot of the work. Because, I mean, like with that, like I had to do so much editing. And there was such a team, like I even got my buddy involved in it, who's a music composer that I worked with before, back when we talked before, and he wants to do film music. So literally to have the production camera, and we filmed in Brevard, set up all the interviews, and we also filmed in Las Vegas. Wow. They said that it's making over $1,200 a day. I mean, not a day. That was incorrect. I meant a week. For streaming, that's pretty incredible.
That's wonderful.
Talk to anyone that is Amazon Prime Direct producer or something. They make one. Starting out, they make 1 penny per hour viewed. So making for some of those things, making a $1,200 weekly or in the opening period is absolutely amazing. And
amazing.
They said it was even better. And this is coming from the same company that did Midway. Wow. And some of that stuff. So that was really encouraging, and it's very early in the festival season for that. And we already have 3 nominations for that. And I'm honestly almost, after the Kaya saga and all the nominations and wins that me and Laura Vazani accumulated, which she was the executive producer and I was the producer and director for that. Just, man, I don't even like seeing laurels, like the victory laurels, anymore. It's just like, oh yeah, another one of those. But I mean, I'll keep accepting them, but I'm thankful for all those people that keep liking it. But I'm sitting there saying, we gotta feed the family, you know.
Yes.
So
yes.
Words are great. The cells are better, but
yes.
my focus as a filmmaker is to make premium content that is affordable, bankable, and sellable. Because I really actually get upset when I go to a movie theater and I watch a movie and it had such a huge amount of hype, and I get there and I'm just so disappointed when I leave. And it's been a cycle in Hollywood, and I just sat there and I blamed it on 3 things. Like, people were buying into this stuff, and they kept going and going and going, and they weren't saying, all right, take us back to where we were, 20 years ago, and start giving us what we want. Give us some good movies. And I think the studios are listening. There's a lot of changes at the top, and I know some presidents at some of the studios, and they're actually very nice, kind people. And they were like, what do? Everyone wants a superhero film, but we can't.
I know. Isn't that the truth?
We can't do that. We can't do this all the time,
Oh
but
Oh,
everyone
true.
is pushing for that big tent pole all the time, and you're like,
Oh.
I just want to watch a movie that's really good and enjoy myself with a great story,
Yes.
and that's the I think that's one of the differences is if you let the story be king and everything else is put in place to support that story to tell it correctly, that's what intrigues people. And you have to have actors with charisma,
Yes.
very charismatic people. And I think that sometimes the only people that make it anymore are already people that have had the ability to fund themselves to a certain level. I like, honestly, for me, getting to some of the places I'm starting to get now, it is absolutely dumb luck, and maybe because I have a cool last name. That's really, really honestly the truth. Oh, and
I
I have
don't think
great
so.
friends.
I don't think so. I read where you are called the Martin Scorsese of directing, okay? It has nothing to
Oh
do with
no,
your name. You work
that,
hard.
that was someone that was trying to flatter me. They said that
Huh?
I was like a new Ron Howard and Scorsese
Yes.
like person.
Yes.
And yeah, we both are kind of like this glasses because I can't handle blue light very well without getting a headache. So I started wearing these, and we're both kind of like the same type of person, but like um, I really appreciate those comments, but I have not deserved that at all yet. So
Mm,
I'll be working towards that. Once I get my opportunity, though, I will tell you for certain I will dominate it.
okay. Well,
I'm very prepared. I'm very prepared to make something amazing.
I
And
know.
it's
I can
a
tell.
lot a lot of it has to do with the people around me. I
That's
know
right.
a lot of great people that can help me make something amazing.
That's
So,
right.
yeah.
And that's beautiful. What you just said is so beautiful. And you know what I love about you? You are honest. You are, for someone who's in this business, which is very seldom that you meet someone that's got the heart, that's sincere, that's honest. And I feel that from you. And I just want you to know that. I feel that.
Um, I really appreciate that because, like there's enough arrogance that goes around in the
Yes.
industry. So sometimes, and a majority of all that is, I found out are people that are clinging on to something that doesn't exist anymore
Yes.
and not realizing that you have to put in the work. This is a job. It's a
Yes.
lot of hard work.
Yes.
And yes, some people are gifted things. Some people are just lucky. But I'm not like that. It doesn't come to me that way. And I say this a lot of times, and I don't know if people really understand it. There's a college football coach named Dabo Swinney for Clemson, and he says things that are so in line with my own heart and the way that I feel that like I subscribe to a lot of things like he has posted on their wall. Best is the standard. That means be the best version of yourself every day.
Yes.
And you take that and you continue to grow. And I hope Dabo sees this because I know that some of my family members go to church with him, so I hope he sees this and he's like, all right, man, you're cool. Come on by the campus and meet your favorite players. No, but why don't you come on over and make a documentary about Clemson or a movie? I love that. I love that guy.
That's cool.
But I've been put down and beaten down by people that have used me and abused me in ways that make you feel that you're not worthy.
Yes.
And the biggest problem with that for them was that I have something that may be a little bit crazy, a little bit psycho, but I refer to it as the Michael Jordan mentality. Is when someone knocks me down, I become an aggressor.
Yes.
And it's not physical, it's not a hate, It's just the thing is that you knocked me down, but with time, things will change and you'll see me. But at this time, you'll be looking up at me instead of looking down at me. So that mentality, I think, has led me, because I'm not afraid to ask things of people. I'm not afraid to talk to people. I used to be very shy and very frightened, and I didn't have this. And then something snapped, and I said, you know what? You were born to be this. You were born to be great. You were born to be who you are. And it doesn't matter if the world sees this greatness. It's the greatness of me fulfilling my ultimate goal in life of having joy.
Yes.
And that's like, I have pretty humble goals in life, but the career path that I have and stuff, you know, like, there's some nice things that come along with it if you're really good at it and if you're really lucky. So, you know, we'll flip a coin and we'll see how that works. So
that's beautiful. That is so beautiful. And everything you just said are my sentiments. I mean, oh my goodness. Oh, I mean, you just spoke what my heart has and my brain has been telling me. And you're amazing. I love what you just said.
Oh, thank you. I mean,
I
I'm sorry. Like, I'm almost like I have like,
oh.
I don't take compliments well, and I'm sorry if I'm awkward, because I'm not used to them. I only know how to just be me, humble me. And believe it or not, I honestly believe this. I mean, if there's anyone trying to work in film or do things like that, I mean, really reanalyze yourself. And I'll tell you this, that I've gotten further in this point by actually wanting to be a genuine friend to somebody and be a good person. And I wasn't going around trying to use people to get up somewhere. I literally just wanted good friends that understood in the industry the same things that I was going through. And like, one of my closest friends, like, she grew up in a family with very famous musicians as well, and she's a really good mentor and friend, and she's somebody that everybody loves.
Yeah.
Everybody loves her. And like, you know, like, she's helped me a lot, and I know if she sees this, she'll know who you are. Yeah. And you deserve that, because I was really thankful for her and all her friends that have all come with open arms and tried to help me. And some of them are the presidents of studios who've literally taken calls with me to give me advice. One of them I want to tell you a funny story about, going back to the HBO thing just real quick. I had a phone conversation with the head of production at HBO, Jay Rowe. Mm-hmm. He does a lot of things. He's a bass player in a band, and his whole story is like, he's this really kind of cool guy. And I was calling him. This was like pandemic time, right? Pre-pandemic. But he like straight up asked me, "Do you want a job? And are you looking for a job?" And I said, "Well, yeah." He says, Stephen, what do you want to do? Oh. And I said, "Well, I wanted to go and direct and produce, because of, you know, the success that I had very quickly." And he said, "You need to go out and direct and produce, because if you stay just an indie producer or a producer's assistant, or, you know, like, if you're a producer's assistant or whatever, that he couldn't, you know, work with me at the point of being a producer that quickly. I actually had to produce and show returns to grow." And I was kind of angry at first when I heard that, and I was like, man, everybody's just telling me to do this, do that, and whatnot. And then I was like, you know what? Like, after I started working and going through, I was like, I am so thankful that man told me that, because it's been incredibly helpful, guiding me and telling me the direct path that I need to go to grow. Same thing happened with the president of Hulu. He talked to me on the phone about it. about guiding me and choosing my path. And I eat lunch all the time with one of the executives at Paramount, but we have so much fun together because we're like friends. When I come by, like we met, had no clue who he was or whatever, him and his sister, but the coolest people on earth, and like we're just friends. So there's absolutely no industry talk at all. But man, like a lot of people that could show their business card and it impress a lot of people aren't really into that, and I'm not either.
That is so wonderful. Yeah. That is. I mean, look where you are now. Look what you're doing, and things are happening for you, and you're doing what you love to do.
We'll flip a coin.
Yes.
We'll flip a coin. That's what I always say as a joke to everybody.
So, because this is your dream, and this is really what you want to do, and this show is about dreams and about achieving success through the dreams that you've had. And, you know, my dream since I was 10 was because it was my escape too, you know, thinking I want to be an actress. And I still have that desire. That just everything you just said, I could relate to. So what I'm saying is, you had that dream and you're living this dream. There are many out there that want this dream and haven't come close. They don't even know how to begin. What advice would you give to someone who wants to do?
Oh, wow. It's so crazy. I mean, even like I won the Los Angeles Film Festival this year with Laura for Kaya, but I won it for the directorial stuff.
Congratulations.
And yeah, I won the London Film Actors Academy Supreme Champion Award too. The point I was using that as a reference because because when I got the call that I'd won,
yes,
I was actually outside helping my dad in the garden. So, I mean, I think that you know, like keeping your hands in the dirt,
yes,
rolling up your sleeves, and really trusting your instincts. And sometimes you got to know when you either got it or you don't.
yes.
And that's when I made the brilliant decision to leave music.
Yes.
And I was good, but you know, there was people that had voices kind of like me that were already famous. And I made the decision that, you know, I can age well into this. And then I just went at it with all my heart. And I guess the thing is that I had talent. I had talent that, you know, good Lord put in me and gave me a gift, but I didn't really understand it. So what happened is that when I walked into there blindly, I just literally just went for it. I just say, go for it. If you want to be a filmmaker or an actor, make films, go act.
Yes.
Get busy, submit yourself, get yourself into festivals, get yourself rolling, build some buzz, build networking opportunities. But you got to be careful with that networking opportunity thing, because the number one thing that nobody wants is somebody just trying to use them to get to another level.
That's
what they want, like the best thing to do is be a good person and always be there. And if you're close enough to somebody, ask them how, and they're higher up, ask them how you can get better. That's really like the thing that happens with me, is I've just been asking, you know, what can I do to be better or become the best, which I have a long way to go and a huge mountain to climb to get there. But luckily for me, I'm well, I normally say I'm 32, but you know, I'm actually 37. I feel that with the job that I have, that and doing something that I absolutely truly love, I think I have more than enough time to reach a level that I want to be in, and I'm willing to be patient and do the right thing. So that's my advice. Be patient, always do the right thing, and don't be a user.
Yes.
be assertive and be a sponge and just be yourself and be a good person.
Yeah.
Because what's unique, it's not unique to try to use people to get to the next level. What's unique is when you go out there and you're just being a real person that wants to be a good friend and really meaning it. You have to really mean it. And I think that will take you further than anything.
Thank you so much. That is beautiful advice. Perfect advice.
Oh,
Now to finally, one more thing we need to ask you on top
mm-hmm.
of asking your social media and how people can reach out. But let's talk about, we know that you're the cousin of Elvis Presley, and we know that Elvis Presley's grandson, Ben Keogh, committed suicide, which surprised everyone. I mean, I was shocked. I couldn't believe it either. And I'm not even related, so I can imagine how it affected you. So tell us about that one.
Well, that's one thing that I really actually wanted to clear up. I've always never wanted to talk about Elvis because
yes,
that's a huge weight, and that's what I feel happened here. So, like, obviously I was shocked as everyone else, but to be honest with you, I've never met Ben and never really knew him, but I'm still deeply saddened because it's because I can relate to what he's dealt with, but only fractionally compared. That having someone with that level of fame as a relative, which he had a different last name, but he was his granddad, like me. I fell off my parents went to Graceland, but they bought tickets. So I have the famous surname, but I am deeply, deeply saddened.
yes.
And just one thing I want to say, that it's a tough gig, with those unfair expectations.
Yeah.
And from what I've understood, that anyone can clearly see that was a situation for him, because he looked so much like him. But I don't want to take anything away from the immediate family or anything like that, but I do want to say that I'm deeply saddened, and I just want that family to know that we pray for them, and that the extended family, may be filled with a lot of poor people and people that are just average people. But I can clearly speak for the family branch that came from that area, because I know the whole Anson, North Carolina family branch that he came from. It's the same one I came from.
Mm-hmm.
And I grew up my family stayed in North Carolina. So it's filled with a lot of people with open arms that will always be there and respect you, and they don't care to exploit you or anything. So we're all going to pray that the family has restoration.
Yes.
And hopefully they know that they're loved, and we want that family to be blessed.
Yeah.
So I'm deeply saddened, and to be honest with you, it's really hard, because if you go to a psychologist and tell them I'm having trouble because my grandfather was the most famous man alive at that time, and everyone expects me to live in that shadow, and for me to do something, or I'm always in this, or there's this expectation, or this expectation with a relationship, and I can see from just a over here in the corner kind of perspective that's man, that's a tough gig. It's really hard.
It is a tough
especially being young, and
yes.
I just want them to know that everybody's praying for them, and from the top to the bottom, of the most famous to the least, that everyone would be very loving. The family is very loving.
That's beautiful. Thank you. Now
no
let's
worries.
talk about your social media, how people can see you, reach out, or whatever the case may be. How would they do that?
Well, I do have I do have a website, but I've been trying to not have direct contact a little bit because I've had some really crazy people asking me for money and all kinds of
Oh,
stuff.
I know. Okay.
Yeah, but the thing is I'm actually currently shopping an agent, and I do have a publicist. But my website's a way that you can actually reach directly to me or to one of my companies. If you want to make a film or you want to do something like that, give us a shout and we'll explore the opportunities, because those things, or if you just want to compliment or say something bad if you want, I mean, I'm tough. I can take it. But if you come to me and you write me, make sure that you're honest, because it's always something that I can grow from. If people are lying to me all the time, then I can't grow from that.
Yeah.
So the website is www.allmydaysproductions.com. No one can ever really spell that, so the best way to go about it is to look me up on IMDb.
I went to your IMDb, by the way. Oh my goodness, you've done a lot. And your star meter, don't worry about it. My star meter, your star meter is absolutely fantastic. My star meter was like where yours is right now. And now it's like, oh my God, I don't even want to look at it because life interrupted for 4 years. And oh my God, I saw my star meter the other day and I went, oh dear, I better get to work.
It's mine being so high is so strange because I'm not in front of the camera person.
Yeah.
So that's there's a lot of directors and stuff out there that are like working on major films that are like 80, 90, 150,000 that are working on studio films, and I'm sitting there hanging out somewhere, and I'm just like, wow, that's cool,
You're at 44,000. That is fabulous.
Yeah, I think I was at 20,000.
Well, that was last week. It might be even lower now, but
no, that was because Game of Thrones when it released. But I can tell you, it's not very important when you don't have a job. I almost went totally Southern on you. When you ain't got a job, the best place to reach out to me would definitely be through my IMDb. You can go there and find my links to my companies, because the easier one is to look up Virtue Media Capital, and I'm one of the chairman of the company, and that's the company that has with me and my partners brought in a couple of very large film opportunities that literally are billion-dollar franchises that we are looking at. So we don't ask that people invest, that you don't have to invest and pay the whole project. We kind of hedge people together, the same thing, lower their risk and put them in the best opportunity to win.
Well, you are incredible and your stories are amazing and you are a beautiful human being, and I love meeting people like you. And because I've been in this industry, I came in later in life, but 15 years now. And so I've met the arrogant and the fakes and the everything else. But it's
don't have nothing to do with them.
What's that?
Won't work with them.
I don't. No.
I mean, it's one thing if a director or somebody they get angry on set because they're just trying to get the passion out.
Yeah.
That's okay. But if there are people out there that wanna be negative or something like that, then you have a choice, because you're a human being. And I just say, especially to all the women out there who've been abused or mistreated, I want, as a man, please don't lose faith in us as people, because there are some of us out there that are trying in the industry to offer opportunities and do things the right way. And I can just hope and pray that is the future, because it doesn't matter what your race, nationality, religious belief system, you don't necessarily have to be judged based upon that. I'm open that the future is a future that looks based upon your ability other than things that don't matter, because like honestly, if a film's made that is amazing,
Yes.
I don't care if it was made by LGBTQ, any of that, any minorities or anything. I just think it should be the art. It should be known for the art itself.
Yes.
But I have to say that I have to say that also, don't hate the fact that if there are guys that are proven that are up there, been doing it for 30 years, that things aren't just handed to other people that haven't proven it yet, because it's this thing that I talk about being patient, because
Yes.
we'll get there together.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much for being on my show. It's such a thrill. Thank you so much. And I'm so honored. And I think you're a beautiful, beautiful human being.
Well, I wanted to thank you for allowing me to be on your show. Like I said, I researched a lot about you. You earned so much respect for me, even more when I was watching and reading, and it's really inspirational, and I feel at home here when I talk to you, and it's a great thing, and I'll recommend your show to anybody. The one thing that I always say, whether it's good or bad, the truth is always free. Normally it's bad for
And
me.
you're funny too. God bless you. God bless you. And thank you.
Thank you. I need it.
I'm going to have you back again. And we're going to talk about your new projects, and we're going to talk about all your success, because you're going to be, you're doing it. You're successful. A guy like you goes far. Believe me, if the shysters can do it, a good guy like you is going to be even bigger and better. Just trying to be a humble, nice guy. When the time comes about, you got to know when to step up and dominate. Right. And I'm willing to take that on 100%. Yes. God bless you. Thank you so much again. You are wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in with Nadia and her guests. For more info, episodes, and connection, please visit our website, thenadiasaharishow.com. Share episodes with your friends. Follow us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Instagram, and most importantly, never give up. Live your dream.
Latin Connection Magazine is a family magazine featuring people of influence, cultural events, and traditions. Plus, get news on Latin festivals, Latin entertainment, and Latinos in the fashion industry all over the U.S. Conoce tu vecino y mucho más. We invite you to share your special event with us at LatinConnectionMag.com. Latin Connection Magazine. Conexión Latina y mucho más. Latin Connection Magazine. It's for anyone and everyone to enjoy, no matter who you are.